Diane in Denmark here. Oh, almost dropped my pom-poms. Rah, rah, rah. It is Wednesday. Woo-hoo, Wednesday. I hope you are fine and well this morning. I'm feeling much brighter today. Yesterday I had a real case of the blahs, I don't want us, but it's all good today. Today, let me just get timer started. There we are, I've set the timer. I want to do a question answer session today, and I love doing the wee question answer sessions. So if you've got laundry to fold, grab that. If you're at the office and need to tidy out a desk drawer, do some shredding, file your paper clips by colour, you go ahead and do that. I'm actually got a wee, some tea left over from my skinny dip this morning with Vibeke and Helena. Look, there they are. This is one of my favourite cups. I got this for my 50th. I'm 52 now. It's an old picture. There's Vibeke and that's Helena. So I've got, I don't know if you can see that, the tea is still steaming. So we're going to have a wee question answer session today. And as I've said before, I'm not the oracle. I don't have all the answers to your questions, but I try and answer questions that come in on, whether it be on Instagram or on YouTube. And as far as possible, I answer your questions, online. But there are so many comments coming in every day, and I have to set boundaries, and I'm always here telling you, to use your time wisely, set the timer. So I do the same here, and I'm trying not to, go overboard with using my time on my YouTube channel. So I set boundaries, and that means that I cannot answer private messages, direct messages. I hardly ever look in those folders. So if you've got something to ask, please put it in a public forum. And often if it's a question that a lot of people are asking, I'll answer it here for you. And also on that note, it's really lovely that you want to send gifts or stuff. I can't accept gifts. I'm just not comfortable with that. But if you want to kind of, pay it forward, whatever the phrase is, maybe you can take a friend out for coffee or give a donation to charity. But I don't accept gifts. So it's really sweet that you want to do that, but I just don't feel comfy with that. Anyway, on to the questions. Now, and these come up on Instagram and YouTube, and it can be anything from Flylady to the winter bathing thing comes up a lot. So I'm just going to dive into them. I've got my pen, and I'll kind of cross off as I go. These are ones that have come up very recently. Let me see. Oh yeah, how many languages do I speak? Well, I'm from Edinburgh in Scotland. That's where I've got the kind of twang in my accent. So I'm English speaking. I worked at the Court of Justice in Luxembourg for many years at the EU Court. I was working for the British judge there, Sir David Edward. Loved my job there. And the working language of the court is French, so I'm fluent in French. And then I met my husband. He was working for the Danish judge and I was working for the British judge, and you know how that happens. And we moved here permanently and then had kids 20 years ago, let me see, 21 years ago. And I speak fluent Danish. My life here is in Danish. And I've said before, my besties are Danish, so I speak in Danish all the time. I speak English with my kids and my husband, but if we're out somewhere and it's me, my husband and somebody else, then Danish will be the language. I have a few English-speaking friends here, but not ones that I see on a day-to-day basis. The ladies, from my international group, then I speak English, but generally speaking, my life is in Danish here. I think in Danish, I dream in Danish. So there we go about that. Oh, and then also another personal question that came up, because I know you hear Tweet and Sparky, the lovebirds, in my videos, and if you want to see Tweet and Sparky, I post pictures of them on Instagram. They've got their own hashtag, Tweet and Sparky, the wee lovebirds. We don't have any other pets at the moment. We've had hamsters, we've had fish, and the kids have always looked after them themselves, so that's not something, I wasn't very good at looking after my animals, and I said to the kids, if you want to have animals, you've got to look after them yourself. So we have those. We don't have any, the question was if we had any fur babies. My kids are, my daughter's allergic to cats and my son's got allergies as well, so we don't have any, and we don't want to have a cat or a dog. And don't start saying, oh, you can get this type or this type. We don't have the capacity to also look after other animals. But having said that, when you do see me posting on Instagram, you may have seen there's a tuxedo cat, you know, a black cat, a really lovely black cat with white paws. That's the cat that belongs to our neighbours in Sweden. We've got a Swedish cabin that we use. We don't just use it in the summer, we use it a lot of weekends during the year. It's 1 hour's drive from door to door from here, over the bridge, if you've seen the television series, the bridge to Sweden. And the neighbours very kindly allow us to kidnap their cat at the weekend, and you'll see pictures of the cat with us. So we like to borrow the cat, but then, you know, when we come back to Denmark, that's, you know, it's like when you have grandkids, I think you can kind of enjoy having them and then, you know, give them back to the owner. So that's it about the fur babies. Oh, and my daughter and son, they've got allergy tablets, so if we're going to Sweden, then they just take their tablets in advance. Right, on to the next one. Oh, Flylady questions, of course. And if you have any kind of detailed Flylady questions, I've done the Flylady 31 Baby Steps, the refresher course. I'll put the links up there. If there's anything that you're really not understanding, the Flylady website, it is a bit difficult to navigate, but there's a wee search box on flylady.net at the top right hand corner. So if there's something that you're not understanding or need really, you know, written details on, you can always put the question in there. Or write to flylady.net. I mean, they have people paid answering questions. I'm not paid to answer questions, but the Flylady thing, there was a question yesterday, I think it was from Michelle, and had, you know, been interested in the Flylady thing, but it seems like it's all geared to women, you know, is it the woman in the house that's to do everything? No, not at all. And I know, I mean, put your hands up if you're not a kind of conventional housewife out there. Lots of people use the Flylady system, you know, kids that have moved into college, people who are caring for others or being cared for themselves. And I'll just give you a quick run through of that. The Flylady system is just like a blueprint. It's like a guidebook to how to run your house. And Flylady, you know, Marla, she always calls it, you know, like being the director or the CEO of your home, like you're direct and you're the manager of a hotel. And it's up to you how you use it. You know, if you're a single mum with nobody else there, you're going to be doing it and getting your kids, you know, to help out with chores. You have this blueprint, and it just makes it easier to see what needs to be done, and then you can say, okay, and who needs to be doing it. For example, in our house, we all split up the chores. I do some things, the kids do others, my husband does others. You'll never see my family on video. They don't want to be on video, and I like to give them privacy. I won't be showing my kids' rooms, but that doesn't mean to say that they're not doing anything. They're doing stuff off camera. In our family, we split it up. You may, as I said, you may be going into care for somebody else. Then it's really useful to have, you know, made up the control journal of, okay, what needs to be done Mondays? Do you have your weekly home blessing, or do you split it up over the week? Also, if you are, say for example, you're a new mum and the family wants to come and help, and sometimes you're a bit kind of overwhelmed and the family are kind of helping in ways that aren't helping you. When you've got your lists, you can direct them and say, you know, it would really be helpful for me if you did this, instead of rummaging through all my stuff and trying to declutter for me, when what you really are looking for is just maybe somebody to do the vacuuming or make a pot of soup. So you take the Flylady blueprint, and then you're just using it as a blueprint for your house and your home and your circumstances. As I've said, I know there are lots of people who are maybe empty nesters or kids going off to college, and they've kind of been brought up with the Flylady system, so that when they have their college dorm, They just, you know, you use their control journal to work through what needs to be done. So it can work for anybody. In the beginning, of course, Marla had written it with herself in mind, but you take what works for the system and make it work for you, okay? So don't, it's not, it's a one size fits all, but you've got to take it on, try it and adjust it. Okay, so that was about Flylady, and there was somebody at, oh, I know what it was another Flylady thing. You know, I do my Flylady cleaning and I show you me doing stuff in real time. So, and I've got a playlist, I've got various playlists, whether it's me cleaning in the Flylady Zones or talking about, let me just set it for another 5 minutes, or talking about the Dressing Your Truth system and how you can change things with leather paint. I've got playlists set up. And somebody said, oh, could I make up a playlist with, you know, all, you know, kitchen stuff on one zone, or all the bathroom things. And I had that idea before, and I'll tell you why I didn't do it. And this is because I know you really well, and I know myself. If I make up a playlist which says, you know, zone 3, the bathroom, what you'll do is, I know it, hands up if this is true, you're going to go to that playlist and you're going to go gung-ho and you're going to work through that playlist and not take breaks, and you're going to hyper focus on that area instead of working on one area, taking a break and then working on the next area. Does that sound familiar? Because I know a lot of you find the Flylady system and then you get stuck. Somebody said the other day, oh yeah, we had moved on to, you know, Flylady Zone 3 this week, but she hadn't finished on the kitchen. You don't need to finish the kitchen. We'll be round again in the kitchen before you know it. So that's why I don't make up specific playlists like that. Having said that, you can make your own playlists with my stuff on YouTube. You just create the name of the playlist, and then say you've got maybe some favorite videos of mine that you like cleaning along to. You can add those and do your own one. But I am not setting up one of those, you know, only one zone, because I know you're going to zoom on in on it. Okay, and then. And also I like that thing of moving from zone to zone. Like, for example, we're in zone 3 this week. Even down to self-care, I'm thinking, oh, the bathroom. So during zone 3, I often, you know, do a face mask. At night, you know, we've all got those face masks that have been given and never get around to using them, or having a bubble bath, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, take a nice cooling pamper shower. So I really like that thing of doing things by zone. Next week we'll be in zone 4, and then I'll be, maybe doing my nails, because that's where I keep my nail stuff, getting to bed early with a book. So you see how it goes. Okay, and the last one I'll do is about the skinny dipping. Because a lot of you are new here, and welcome to everybody who is new. Skinny dipping, yes, it means the same. Where you are, it means bathing in the nude. Now, in Denmark, we don't have this sexualization of bodies. Skinny dipping, it's actually called winter bathing. It's a Danish thing. It's something that we do all year round. We swim in the Danish Sea, come rain, come shine, and it's a bit like Scotland here, where we can have all 4 seasons in a day, or even within the space of an hour. And the focus is not on how far you're swimming, how long you're in the water. The focus is on, I always describe it as an extreme mindfulness. You are there in the moment with the elements, naked as the day that you were born. And it's just that very intense moment, it's almost kind of spiritual in a way some mornings. We never swim alone. That's the first rule of any type of swimming, never swim alone. So I do it with my besties, Vibeke and Helena. And we're also members of a club, because there's always somebody down at the club. You never ever swim alone. And there's a ladies section at the club, there's a gents section at the club, and there's also a mixed section at the club. We're normally in the ladies section, it varies. But normally we're in the ladies section, and I know many of you think, it sounds like a kind of spa thing and sauna. We don't use the sauna. We only use the sauna like if there's if the sea has frozen over. Sometimes that happens here. I've got pictures of it, and also in the days where there's like ice, when it's really icy on the steps, on those days sometimes we use the sauna, but generally speaking we go down, we bike down there. It takes about 10-12 minutes on the bike. We strip off, we dip, and again I can't say how long we're in. It depends on the day, the weather conditions, you know, safety first. And the focus is not on how many strokes you're swimming. When we swim around, that's not the focus. If you're thinking that it's not open water swimming, it's not Wim Hof method. It's just being. It's just being down there. And we don't personally put our heads underneath the water. Many of the ladies and gents do that. And then we get dressed afterwards. We don't shower afterwards. The sea's not that salty here. And I like the feeling of the water here is very good for your skin. And then we get dressed, and then we have our snacks. And if you've ever seen my Instagram, you will see we take it in turns to bring tea with us. And I was taking tea today. And also I took down some of our cooking apples. We've got a cooking apple tree and an eating apple tree in the garden. So we kind of meet every other morning, and I took some of these for Helena. I had given a few because some yesterday. Look at the size, they're like cricket balls this year. Anyway, we have a snack and we have a wee chat, and then we get going. So it takes anywhere between, I would say 45 minutes to an hour, and that includes the bike ride. So for me, it's my exercise time. I'm not a member of a gym. I see it as my kind of daily exercise, and I don't do it every morning. I don't do it generally at the weekends because then I'm home with the family. But you know, every morning or every other morning, Monday to Friday, I'm to be found down there. But that's my daily exercise also with the bike ride. And I know some of you think, oh, you know, well then maybe it sounds kind of like a spa thing with the sauna. There's no heating in the toilets. The toilets are kind of open to the elements. And the shower area, it's only cold water in the shower, which can be colder than the seawater sometimes. At the moment, the seawater is 13 degrees Celsius, and the air is the same, which is 55 F. And you can't use any soap or shampoo in the shower because the water goes right down to the sea again as there's a grill. So it's only really for washing off if you don't like the seawater. So it's definitely not a kind of glamorous thing. It's very, very basic. But for us, it's just that getting out and kind of being at one with the elements. And for me, it's really, really helped coming into, you know, the winter. I've been a winter bather now for what, 7-8 years. It's addictive. And it really has changed the mindset for me because we have very long, dark winters here. It can, you know, in December, we've maybe got like 6 hours of daylight if we actually see the sun. So for me, just that getting out every day, come rain, shine, hail, we had hailstones yesterday. It's been a mindset changer for me because I just kind of, you know, even if everything looks kind of grey and dark, the clouds are different, the sea is different, the birds that we see down there, the fish or the stinging jellyfish, you know, it's different every single day. So anyway, I hope I've encouraged you to get out and try something. You probably can't go skinny dipping or winter bathing where you are, but maybe you can find something else that you'll you know, find your passion again. That's the whole thing about doing things with the Flylady system. It's freeing you up with your time so you can go off and experience new things, you know, do all the fun stuff. It stops us hyper cleaning stuff and getting all the rest of the stuff done. So on that note, oh, and there was one more thing I wanted to tell you, just because it was really cold this morning, and I'm going to make sure that I'd go right now as soon as I finish this video and look at my gloves because I had cold fingers this morning. I made a decluttering video yesterday in our basement and I was going through our winter coats. And I meant to say to you yesterday, you've seen this before, but for me, going between the seasons, I have my kind of autumn coats. Sometimes in the morning, it's really, really cold here. Actually, this morning when I checked, it was less than 13 degrees. It was 10 degrees Celsius and windy. And I've got one of these puffer jackets. I've showed you it before. So I put my puffer jacket, this one, and this is not the big winter one I showed you yesterday. This is a thin puffer jacket. And then I put on my autumn coat and then my scarf. And this is one of the ones that packs away. And I'm not going to give you an affiliate link for this. You know, I don't do affiliate links. I'll tell you why I don't do affiliate links. is because I'm not going to tell you to go buying something somewhere that you can get in a local shop. You know, why am I going to tell you, you know, everybody's asking about sink caddy. I'm not going to tell you to go and buy that from a Danish, you know, supplier and have it shipped to the States and you have to be paying import fees and stuff. I give you the name of the thing and then you can Google it yourself. That's why I don't do affiliate links. Anyway, you can pack these wee jackets away. So in the morning when I'm out having my cycling down to the sea, I can put that on underneath and it just gives you an extra layer, you know, just to keep the wind and the chill out. And then often, you know, say I'm in town for appointments in the afternoon, if I'm not needing it any longer, I can pack it away and pop it into my bag. So those are great. I got mine, this one was from Uniqlo, I think in the first time I went to Tokyo about 3 years ago. You can buy them in lots of department stores now. And in fact, when I went over to see my mum in Edinburgh last week, my mum wanted to get one because she knows that I'm really pleased with my one. And my mum's 84 and she goes a lot of walking, but it can be quite windy as well in Edinburgh. And she was interested in getting one, and we found one for her actually in Primark, which cost, I don't know, it was like £15 I think, and I managed to get to get a really nice, ended up getting a really nice type 4 in Dressing Your Truth system. Mum's a type 4. A really dark emerald colour, looks beautiful on her. So, and as I say, you can find them probably online. Don't go getting into anything too expensive, but I like this one and it's machine washable. And so anyway, there we are. So I'm going to finish my tea. Wish you lots of hygge for your day. And I think we covered everything. If you've got any other questions, just, you know, put them on here, or just make sure that you ask them in a public forum, because as I said, I don't answer the direct messages or the private messages. So if you've got anything, try and put it publicly. And I go into the direct messages and private messages occasionally, but as I say, I have to set my boundaries. Also time-wise, so I'm going to love you and leave you. So anyway, live long and prosper, and may the Danish hygge be with you. The fall, Efteår as they call it here, or autumn, got the candles going. Some more of the last hortensia or hydrangea from the garden. You can see they're actually quite like this colour. I'm not so keen on when they go kind of too kind of muddy coloured. Anyway, oh, and if you're wanting a recipe for something to do with, if you've got a lot of cooking apples in the garden or just normal apples, I made a video, it's on my recipes and crafts playlist, a super easy apple cake. I made it at the weekend again, and I ended up eating half the cake myself again. So you'll find that on the recipes and crafts playlist. So anyway, live long and prosper, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on Instagram today, and I'll be here tomorrow, probably doing a little declutter video again in Zone 3. Okay, see you soon.